Hello everyone, welcome back. First off, what do we think of the nails today? I'm really liking this gray and gold silver color scheme. Um, yeah, these two nails are actually my favorites. You can't really see in the camera, it's like a gold stripe, but yeah, I really like this color. Okay, so on to today's project. We've got our coaster molds, and I'm going to go for a summer theme color. I've got 12 ounces of resin mixed up here in my red solo cup. That's part of a song if you don't know. Just look up red solo cup. Yeah, I've got 12 ounces of resin mixed up here because each of these coasters takes, I want to say a little over 3 ounces. So I'll go ahead and start dividing the resin into each of these smaller cups where I will mix in my colors. All right, so that's all divided up, and we'll get into the colors now. I've got two green alcohol inks. The first one, the darker one, is green, and the lighter one is fluorescence green. I've also got a yellow pigment paste, a red alcohol ink, and for my not last color, but second to last color, it's an orange alcohol ink. And then my last color is going to be a pigment powder. It's the White Pearl by Meyspring. All right, so let's start off with our green first. I'm going to use the fluorescence green first since it's a lighter color. And I just want to shake it up, make sure it all gets mixed in. And drop some in there. The reason I want to start off with this color is because the darker colors just tend to take over. And so you can always make it darker, but then it's harder to make it a lighter color once you've gone too dark. So I'm just going to mix this up. It's still very, very transparent with those couple of drops that I put in. So I probably will need to add some of the darker green just to give it more, it's going to be transparent regardless, but I do want a little more opacity. So I will just continue to mix this up and add color until I get what I'm looking for. All right, I think this is a nice shade of green for what I'm looking for. So we'll just put that off to the side now. And next we'll get to our yellow color. Yellow is done, so we will move on to the red next. And I do have to shake it up since it's an alcohol ink and it has settled at the bottom some. Red is done, so we can move on to the orange pigment paste. And I don't think that I have used this orange before, so I do need to cut the tip off. I'm trying to squirt it in there and it's not going. All right, tip is cut off, and I just squirted like a pea-sized amount of the paste onto the popsicle stick, and I'm just going to mix that into the resin. We'll see what the color looks like with that little bit, and I'll see if I want to add any more. All right, I am happy with this shade of orange, so we'll move on to the white mica powder next. I'm just going to get a little bit out with my popsicle stick. Sometimes I use a spoon, but for the most part I just use the popsicle stick. And I don't want to put too much in there at once because the mica powder has a tendency when you start mixing it, since it's sitting on the top, it just kind of goes poof and gets everywhere, like right there on my coaster. So I had to wipe that powder. I think you can see it a little bit, but I have to wipe that off. And I don't think it'll really affect the coaster too much, but yeah, be careful when you are mixing your mica powders. All right, so all of the colors are mixed up now. I think it's looking very summery. So we will go ahead and get started with pouring the green color around the edges of the coasters. I think it might look nice having kind of a watermelon rind look on the edges. So I bend the top to make a little spout, and then I just go around each coaster. All right, I think I'm getting pretty good at estimating how much I need to use for my edges. But yeah, I used all of my green for the edges. I want the insides to mainly be the reds and orange and yellow colors, the summery citrus fruit colors. So that's what I'm going to start moving on to next. I'm trying to decide, kind of what color I want to pour into each, how I want to puddle them. And I guess we're going to go with yellow first. And this was with an alcohol ink. So let's just get started and pour this in. So before I speed this up, I just wanted to point out how these kind of look like eggs. And I didn't intend for that to happen, but looking at the video now, they look kind of cute, like little egg yolks. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and speed through the rest of the pouring. So since I'm doing a voiceover for this particular video, I think I'll just kind of speed through and talk at the same time. So after the yellow, I poured the white mica powder, followed by the red alcohol ink. And then I'm just going in after a couple of pours and using my heat gun to make sure that I'm getting all of the bubbles out as I go along. And I'm just alternating different colors and different also, I guess, I'm not sure what you would call it, but like the coloring method that I used. So I'm trying to alternate an alcohol ink and a powder and a paste just to try to see how the different, I know there's a word and I cannot think of it, sorry, but I'm trying to just see the different effects that they have on each other and see what kind of effects I can get. I'm still learning, so wanting to see all the different effects that resin can produce. And then, of course, I go in with some clear in the middle to push all the colors out and finish up with another run of my heat gun. All right, so we're in for a little bit of a close-up here, and you can see that the colors are starting to blend. It looks like the green is mainly staying on the edge, which might be a good thing if I'm kind of looking for like a watermelon rind type of look. But I am going to go ahead and add some gold crushed glass into the center. I think that'll kind of look like some seeds for our summer fruit coasters here. And after I do that, I will bring you all back once the coasters have set up a little bit so that we can add a top coat, and then we will be all done. All right, so I have got my coasters pulled out, not out of the mold, although I will have to admit, don't get mad at me. I had to peek at one of them just so that I can see, since I'm doing a top coat, I needed to see which side I actually wanted to do the top coat on, whether I wanted it to be this side that we can see or the bottom. So I will go ahead and pull it out and show you the bottom. And it's not that pretty. I'll be honest. It's just, I usually don't like the bottom, but I wanted to see anyway, never say never. So that let me know that I wanted to use the tops because I really like them. They look very citrusy to me, and I was really going for like a summer theme, and I think these fit that so well. They just look like an orange or a watermelon or a lime, all the fruits combined in one. So because I'm doing the top, I didn't want to pull all of these out because there is always kind of a little gap when you put it back in. So I'm just pushing it down, trying to get rid of as much air as I can. Okay, pushing it down in there. There's a hair. Come on, get out. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this one, I'm probably gonna have to sand it because I know some of the resin is gonna fall into those spaces, those gaps. All right, so here is my resin. It's clear resin, but I did go ahead and add some of my new glitties. They're red and green and purple in some angles. That's why this one it looks kind of pinkish or has a little bit of a tint to it. And I am getting a bowl of warm water. It's warm, it's not hot. And after I pour my top coat on the coasters, I'll place it in there just to see how much I have left and if I want to fill in any of these extra molds that I have for extra resin. So we are just going to add our clear resin. I mixed up 6 ounces. I didn't mean to mix up that much. But I over poured the first part of the mixture, so I had to pour the equal amount of the second part. So I think first I'm going to use my heat gun. So I do think we can add some more to each of these. And the reason I'm keeping this in the warm water is to keep it runny. Heat just makes resin not thicken up as quickly. I will say though, once you've got it out of the heat and you start working with it, you have a reduced working time. So that's the only negative. And I don't think I want to add any more, so I'm going to see if I can just let it, you know, flow, tilt it and let it flow to the sides. All right, so we have tilted those around, made sure the resin got to all of the sides, and they're all very full, so I don't want to add any more. They're probably a little over full. But I do have a little bit of extra resin. Let's see. I've got about 2 ounces left over. And so I'm going to try out this new resin dye. Let's go with violet and do, let's say, oh. How do you pour this one out? Okay, let's mix this in and see what we get. So it is pretty transparent, and it did say it's a transparent dye. So you can see there. Okay, I have these pipettes, and I think I might use those for these smaller earrings, or, you know, earrings with more crevices in them. Okay, so we've got our coasters done. We've got several little extra molds filled up with the extra resin that I made up. I need to find the lid to my dye now, my resin dye. Don't know where that went and it created a mess. But yeah, I will come back once these are finished up and show you the final product. I'll see you guys then. Alright, so here we have our finished product. If you hear some chewing in the background, that's Charlie chewing on some ice cubes. So you can see I went ahead and added a gold trimming on these since I did use the gold crushed glass in the center. And I didn't want to put too thick of a line on the top edge because I still want the green to show through, and it was mainly on the edges. But you can see I think they turned out lovely. I think they're definitely summer-esque, especially with that that pretend drink on top. I love the glitter. Definitely remind me of summer. So what do you all think? Let me know. Are there some different colors I should try? Yeah, just let me know what you all would like to see me do, and I can try that. Don't forget to like and subscribe,